Story number one, The Exorcist Girl. This story was told to me by one of my coworkers back in 2012. He was 40 or close to 40 at the time. I was maybe 21, 20. So, like any well person that is older than you and sees you and tells you, "Is this your first job?" and you tell them yes, they try to tell you all their experience, not only in work, but life related. And some type of people like to do that to tell you, "Hey, I know more than you. You should listen to me. I'm older than you." But he wasn't like that. He was a very cool guy. He told me that he recently converted to the Jewish religion, Hasidic Jewish religion. And I had a bunch of questions like why he did that because my country is mostly Catholic. So I had questions and I ended up being good friends with him. To this day, 2024, I still talk to him. So he was asking me about everything like work, friends, family, religious beliefs. I told him Catholic, but I wasn't, just because my parents made me go Catholic, I wasn't very fond of the religion, of any religion, if any. Sorry if that offends any of their listeners or readers. Yeah, basically, he was telling me, to keep good relationship with my parents, especially with my dad, because I told him I didn't speak to him. To this day, I still don't. It's a long story, but maybe I can narrate it someday. Basically, he told me that he went with a lot of girls when he was younger. He used to be a cop. So he told me about all the adventures he had as a cop. Very, very interesting. Very also funny guy. Serious but funny. You know, that type of person that will tell you all his life story in one night without making it boring. That was the type of guy. So the subject of girls came, and basically I told him that I was interested in a girl, but I didn't know if she liked me. That's the story of my life. When I'm about to figure out if the girl likes me or not, turns out she has a boyfriend or she doesn't like me, and I was reading the signs all wrong. Yeah, someday I can narrate you more about that. Anyways, he tell me, "Do you believe in like in any religion?" I was like, "Nah, not really." So he tells me that when he was like my age or close to my age, maybe mid 20s or early 20s, he told me that he met this girl. He's a very cute girl, um very beautiful and very simple in the way of saying things. She wasn't like pretentious. She wasn't trying to get something out of you. Just mainly smiling and being nice to him. And he said that, well, that that's what I thought made her charm. You know, that her beautiful smile, her simply way of telling me stuff, not trying to indirectly trying to get something out of me, not trying to manipulate me or anything like that. Not saying that all the girls do that, of course. That's a disclaimer. And he told me, well, started speaking with her, and he was like, that's before all this WhatsApp. And he told me even Messenger existed, because he was 20 years older than me. So I was like, yeah, texting and I guess calls. And he's like, yeah, if you ever use a public phone, I was like, I have. But yeah, he told me that he was talking to these girls and seeing her regularly. I don't remember where, if it was where he lived or in a store or something, like where you used to meet people off the screen back in the day. And basically, he tells me that she asked him out someday, and he was like, "Wow, a girl asked me out. That's very unusual." And he goes on a date with this girl, and he told me they went for lunch. Yes, they went for lunch, and it was late in the afternoon then, because in my country around 5:30, 5:40 p.m. it starts getting dark because uh we don't have those stations like or other countries do. We only have tropical weather here, so sun comes out on 5:40 a.m. and sets around 4 around 5:45, around 6 p.m. is already dark. So he realized that it was getting dark, And he noticed that the girl didn't want to leave. And he was like, "Hey, can I take you home?" Just being a gentleman. And she said, "Yeah, take me home." They went walking or by bus, if I'm not wrong. Well, buses and public transportation that leave you in a place and you have to walk or take another bus or take an Uber that back in the day didn't exist. So he says, we reach her house and he says, I noticed that her house, everything is turned off. Like if there was nobody home. He said, it was pretty odd. He said, imagine a house that it's in the middle of other houses, like a suburb, and only that one is turned on off. So I was like, her parents must not be home, right? And even though they were 20 something in Latin American countries, it's very normal that kids around 18 or more stay with their parents because of bad wages. It's very hard to afford a house by your own, etc., etc. So that is very common in Latin America. So don't think that they were underage or anything like that. Basically, she says that the girl smiles at him and tells my friend, "Hey, do you want to come in my house?" And he says, "Yeah, are you sure?" He said, "Yeah, my parents aren't home." Being mid 20s or early 20s, his mind races off like, "Oh, dude, this is the time. I'm gonna have the nicest time of my life with this girl, and she is so beautiful. I don't know what to do. This must be destiny. Thank you, God, for sending me such a beautiful girl. This is the girl that I will love forever." He says that they enter her house, and the weird thing is that she doesn't turn on the lights at all. She knows the way to her house even without turning on the light. So she holds his hand, and my friend is like smiling, like you can imagine the type of smile of a dude that it's about to get lucky. You know what I mean? And they start walking to their house, and he said, "She takes me to this little bedroom where you can hear some type of chanting, which I thought it was the radio." So he said, deeper they get to that room, starts hearing chanting like shra, 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 shra. And he said, I started creeping out. Thought I was gonna be kidnapped or something, but then he noticed light coming out of that room and said, well, maybe she left, the radio on or the TV on because I don't know. That's what he thought. He was like, okay, I'm still gonna get lucky. I'm still gonna get lucky. So she said the girl opens the room and this guy's draw his jaw and he's looking at a girl that it's on the floor twitching. Like if you have seen scenes of The Exorcist, that's what she was doing. She was twitching, yelling at everybody. And the light that was coming out of the room, it wasn't a light, it was candles. It was like she was on this cult that he was trying to exorcise this other girl that was on the floor. He told me that girl on the floor could be 15, 16, no more than that. So he tells me, my date goes on there and she says, with all casual, come on, help me. Let's pray for this girl to get the demon out. And she says that I'm gonna help you to be part of us so you can help us get the evil out of her. And he says that he stood up quietly in a semicircle where everybody was on the candles and chanting and crying and twitching, while the girl was saying a lot of nonsense on the floor, like, I'm gonna kill you all. I'm gonna rape every single one of you here. I'm gonna slit your throat. And he says, I look at my date and I realize she's smiling while praying, like she's some of psychopath, like she's enjoying seeing this girl on the ground twitching. My friend then just looks at everybody and realizes that nobody is doing nothing. And he stretches his arms and puts everybody apart and says, enough. And he says, when he says enough, the girl twitching from the floor stands up and says, you are the chosen one. My friend said, I'm not chosen of anything. I'm out of here. And he left. To this day, he says that was the weirdest date he has ever been on. And he told me, I don't think any of your love stories will ever match what I just experienced thinking that I was gonna get lucky just to get almost pulled in a cult exorcising a girl. Story number two. So, this is also from the same place of the previous story, but this is my own, not my coworker. Basically, I used to take pastry and desserts to my work to sell them. My mom, she doesn't work. Let's say because of some problem she had with my dad, she lost her job. And basically, she used to make pastry and dessert really good. I wish if I meet any of you guys IRL, I can give you some of that, and you tell me if it's the best or not. To me, it is. Basically, on 2011, 2012, my mom said, take these desserts and try to sell them. That way I can make some money for myself so I don't feel bad about you taking all the responsibility of the house. I didn't mind, of course. My mom was 50 plus, and I told her, you work enough. You work probably all your way from when you were 16 and all the way till you were 40 something. You have work enough. Now it's my turn. But she didn't feel right. She wanted to buy her own stuff, and she made me carry those bags with desserts, which I didn't mind. So one day, my mom makes a great cheesecake, by the way. One day, I arrive very early because I used to have the 7 p.m. shift. But being me, I always arrive early. Anywhere I go, you'll always see me early. If the appointment is at 7, you will see me there at 6:30. So I used to leave my house around 5 or 4, and you will make fun of this because my country is very small, but the public transportation is so bad, and I'm talking about prior COVID days, that it will take me an hour and a half to get to maybe 3 miles away from my house because of the public transportation. And basically, I come on very early, maybe 5:30, and I was like, "Oh my god, I don't know why." 5:30, 5:45, and I said, "Oh my god, I don't know why I came here so early. I'm 1 hour away from shift." So this beautiful girl with green eyes and curly hair pulls me over and says, "Hey, are you a cheesecake guy?" And I said, "Cheesecake guy?" And she said, "Yeah, yeah, the guy that sells desserts." So I'm like, yeah, you can call me that, or I can tell her, my real name. And she was like, oh, nice to meet you. My name is Fiorella. I was like, okay, nice to meet you. Um, X. And she says, oh, do you have any of those desserts? Because I'm dying to try them. I was like, no, not really. This is the first time that that I've seen somebody so excited about my mom's desserts. And she says, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just that our trainer, the girl that pretty much told us what to do at work, because we go through a 2 week to 3 week training. If you're from the call center um, job environment, you know what type of training. Anyways, this girl tells me, when are you bringing your next cheesecake? I think that day was like Tuesday or Monday. It was the beginning of the week. I had a weird days off, so I was like, maybe this day. I think it was Thursday when I say I'm gonna bring Thursday. He said, "Well, I leave at 6. Is there any way that you can come here early and give me the cheesecake?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. A sale is a sale. I'm not gonna argue. Just give the customer what they want. The customer is always right." So on Thursday, I come very happy because I used to have Facebook back in the day, and she added me on Facebook. I don't know how she knew my full name. Probably because I had a badge that had my full name, right? Basically, she adds me on Facebook. We start talking about anything but desserts, about, life and stuff, about work. And on Thursday, I go with a very big smile on my face because I think maybe she is the one. I really like her. She looks very cute. Anyways, I bring her the cheesecake. She gives me a hug and she says, well, thanks for coming and giving me the cheesecake. And I was like, oh, anytime. I like, the fact that you are not only a customer, but I like seeing you. Your smile really makes me smile too. And she said, oh, well, I had to tell you something. I really wanted the cheesecake, but I wanted to see you. Thinking, wow, she wanted to see me? This is very odd. I mean, not any girl, unless you're super handsome, which I don't know if I am, tells you, I want to see you. I want to see you because, pretty much, I guess I find you attractive. But not all girls, especially in my country, are very straightforward. If they are, you always think something is weird, right? But these days, who knows? Anyways, I was like, well, I got your Facebook contact. We should get together someday and just let me know your day off. And if I'm working that day, maybe, I don't know, I can, after work, we can go out or something. She said, yeah, sure. Well, 2 weeks pass and she would keep talking on Facebook and whatnot. And she tells me, hey, I have something to ask you. And I was like, okay, all right, sure. What is it? And she was like, well, what religion do you practice? I'm like, well, I was baptized as Catholic, so I guess Catholicism. And she was like, you guess? I was like, yeah, I guess. I never thought about switching religions or not being religious. I mean, I used to go to church every Sunday when I was like 7 or 6, but it's not because I wanted to. It's because my mom took me. Because I guess when you're a parent, you're like, I want my kid to have good values, but I guess taking them to church when they don't even understand what's going on is not good, right? And she was like, okay, but what do you believe in? And I was like, honestly, nothing. And she was like, really nothing? And I was like, yeah, why? She made the weirdest suggestion. We should go out this Saturday. And I was like, where? And she was like, well, I want to take you to my cult. She didn't even say my pastor, anything. In Spanish, cult can mean, what means in English? A cult. Literally, uh, a place where they just go and be religious towards some figure or whatever. It doesn't have to be Christian, doesn't have to be Catholic. And she was like, I want to take you to my cult and meet pretty much my preach leader. And I was like, Fiorella, I really don't feel comfortable with that. And she started getting very weird from there, messaging me almost every day, telling me, you're the chosen one. You're the chosen one. You resemble Jesus so much that you don't know. And I was like, oh man, no wonder why she approached me. I got a nut job. I'm a nut job magnet. Why? And then she started telling me, I wish we could go to church or the cult together so my pastor or my leader could meet you. I'm sure he will tell you you're also the one. You should join us. And that way we can be together forever. I started just changing subjects from like religion to aliens or whatever, or religion to music, but she wasn't having it. She wanted me to go with her to the cult. So there's some point that after a month later, she told me she was leaving the workplace where I was working, which felt very relieved because I think every time I used to go to work, even when I didn't see her, somehow she saw me and she was like, I saw you talking to that girl. Do you like her? I was like, you mean this girl? And she was like, yeah, I saw you. I was like, how do you see me? I didn't see you. She was like, I have people that tell me what you're doing. I got really scared there. Am I getting kidnapped or killed by a cult or what am I going into? Like, how does this move from cheesecake to religious craziness? Anyways, she told me, well, are you going to come this Saturday? Because it was always Saturday. Meet my preach leader. And I was like, no, Fiorella, I really like you, but I like you. I don't like your religion. I like you. If I want to be with you, I don't want that to be based on religion because I'm not going to go to a church or a place that you practice your religion just to make you happy. Because I think if I like you, which I really do, then my liking or my love will be conditioned if I love your leader or not. She got very upset, ended up deleting me and blocking me on Facebook, which I'm really grateful because that girl used to keep tabs on me. And when I mean, she will literally tell me, you were speaking with this person, you were eating this. And I was completely alone at lunch break. I used to work night shift. So I don't know who told her about that. I always find it odd. But even more important, has she ever done this before? And why didn't anybody warn me about her? Did she keep that personality secret and somehow I'm a magnet to crazy people? Or am I crazy myself and that's why I attract those people? I will never know because since I was working on night shift and she was like from day shift, nobody exactly knew her and I didn't know anybody from the day shift. My sister was working on that company too, but I really don't share those details with my family. I don't know why. Call me weird. And that was the last time that I saw her. But man, she was very strange. Story number three. This took place maybe in 2020 or no, 2018. My mistake. I met this girl on Facebook. I reopened a Facebook account, and the reason why I did that is because um, I was part of a group that was posting job places, and I wanted to switch works badly. So what I did is that I started, you know, putting some information but no pictures, and I saw this girl. Let's call her Caitlin. Caitlin struck me as odd because I was more probably 5 or 6 years older than her. I was like 26. She was like 21 or 20. She used to work at the same workplace from my previous two stories. So I messaged her just like, hey, do you work at this place? And she said, yeah. I was like, wow, I worked there for 5 years. I never met you. And she was like, really? And for some reason, I was like, yeah. I remember my manager, and she was like, what is your manager's name? And I said, Alvaro. I said, "Oh, no way. That was your manager? He was my boss too." I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, he was nice. But the thing I didn't like about him is that he didn't have good self control. He was almost harassing women at work. And I felt very uncomfortable seeing that, to the point that two gals were discussing, hey, let's go to the beach. Something you really need to know about my country is that the beaches are very close to the city. You can literally go to grab your car, and in 1 hour or two, you'll be at the beach and you can return the same day. This is a very small country. So basically, these two gals were speaking about, let's go to a beach, let's go to a beach. And that manager said, hey, I want to go too. I want to go with you girls. And the girls awkwardly just look at each other, and they said, oh no, you know what, I cannot do it. And the reason why I cannot do it is because, well, I have to help my mom with something. We'll let you know. And the guy was like, do you have my number? And she was like, yeah, I do, you're my boss after all. Anyways, this girl Caitlin said, yeah, Alvaro used to live where I live in this city, and basically he teach me everything. Now I'm a manager thanks to him. However, I realized that did all those favors so he could sleep with me, and I was like, I'm not surprised. That manager was the type of guy that will teach you something if you're a girl, just to say, remember what I did for you? Now you have to do something for me. Of course, he wouldn't frame it that way, but you will feel his ominous presence trying to get something out of you in a sexual way. Anyways, this girl, I realized she had long black hair, very white, a little bit overweight, not much. I guess you would call her chubby. Definitely weighed more than me because I'm very skinny. But I didn't mind, She liked anime and video games, and I was like, wow, I'm into those things too. Right now, I'm just into video games. I don't watch anime anymore. I'm not saying that I don't like it, but I haven't found anything yet. Anyways, Caitlin tells me about all these people she knows, and I tell her, oh, I know that one. I worked with that guy in 2012, with this guy in 2013. A random conversation about, hey, you work at this place, turn it into like swapping numbers and swapping names. And she asked me, and oh, I like this anime, Cardcaptor Sakura. And I was like, well, I have all the collection of that anime, actually in Spanish, in Latin American Spanish. Do you want it? She went crazy about this idea that I had all the series of Sakura and how much she loved that series. In all my honest opinion, to me, I used to watch it when I was like 10 or 9, and it was by far my favorite anime. It made me cry a couple of times. Um, just seeing people getting rejected and people, finding their loved ones and so on and so on, and seeing the character grow in every chapter. Anyways, I gave her the series through Google Drive. She download them, and I see a WhatsApp status that says, "Thank you. Insert my name here. for giving me my childhood back. I was like, well, she's still not that old. She's only 21, but whatever. Anyways, we keep on talking. She says, "Oh, I watched Naruto." And I was like, "Oh, I watch it too." And she said, "Yeah, I'm kind of like the shy girl that likes Naruto, Hinata. If you like Naruto, you will understand." Anyways, I was like, "Well, I think that's cute." And she said, "Oh, don't give me compliments because I will blush." And I was like, "Well, with your beautiful white skin, you probably look good blushing." Anyways, we keep this flirting going on, and someday I asked her, "Hey, Caitlin, do you want to go out with me?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure, I can go out with you." I was like, "Wow, great." So since she was into anime and all of that, I decided to take her to a Japanese restaurant. Why not? And basically, I went out with her. I had to wait probably 40 minutes for her. Again, every time I reach to a place, I'm the type of guy that waits for you. I don't like that you wait on me. So our date was around maybe 7 or 6 p.m. It was dinner. If you guys eat dinner at that time. And she messaged me, "Hey, I'm going to be late." Uh, She made me wait 40 minutes. And I realized that she, you know, exits the bus or the Uber that she was on. And she was very, um, I want to say, not in her best shape. And she looked like she just woke up or something. And I was like, well, maybe she had a rough day. Maybe she just got off work or something. I don't know because I didn't know a lot about her, just a few anime stuff, and she liked video games. Okay. Okay. That was not a red flag because it's not a red flag. But whenever you are going to date somebody, I try to look at least decent or my best if I really like that person. And she looks like she was barely trying. Like if she was there because of the free food. Because obviously, as men, I like to pay for the bill. I'm not saying that girls shouldn't pay for their bill. It's just that when you're meeting somebody and a potential mate, I like paying for your check, right? So, anyways, I open her the door. We sit on this Japanese restaurant. And what I find very annoying, and I don't know if you agree with me, is that when you're talking to somebody face to face and the person is just looking at her phone or his phone, it is very offensive to me thinking that I'm very boring and my phone is more important. I had my phone in my pocket and I didn't take it out even though it was ringing because I was like, if it's my mom, she knows that I'm here. If it's my sister, maybe my mom can tell her that I'm on a date. And if it's anybody from work, screw them. I'm off work. I don't care. If it's my boss, well, what can I do? I'm off shift. And, we didn't get paid overtime to, solve stuff at work. Anyways, I tell him, "Hey, Caitlin, you seem like you're very popular," trying to tell her that, you're using the phone while we're here meeting for the first time and all you do is check your phone. Am I boring or are you always like this? And she was not very humble, let's say. And she said, "Oh, yeah, I'm very popular. Uh, it's just that I'm a manager at work, with that tone that I'm better than you." And, or maybe she was nervous. I don't know. Anyways, she tells me, "I'm off today, but these guys at work, the people that are under me, they cannot live with me. They're messaging me 24/7." I tell her, "Hey, Caitlin, have you ever heard of the difference between um, work time and private life? Like you shouldn't be always working because that can mess up your mental health." And I told her how I work 5 days a week, and on the days off, I try not to think of work because otherwise I will go crazy. I was a network security guy, so pretty much I will have to resolve cases. Sometimes one call took 8 hours to resolve. Very exhausting. And she disregards my argument saying, "Yeah, being a manager is so hard. I mean, you have so much responsibility." I tell her, "I understand." And she said, "How can you if you're not a manager?" I said, "Well, I have given training to people. I've helped people and I feel responsible when they do something wrong." Anyway, she tells me life of a manager is too hard. We start eating, and sushi, as you know, it has a slice of ginger sometimes. And I didn't know what they were. I thought you were supposed to eat them. And she said, "Do you know something about sushi?" And I was like, "What?" She said, "If that little piece of slice of ginger is for you to eat it, so you can savor other stuff, not only the sushi taste. So if you eat a lot of sushi and you want to eat something else, eat that piece of ginger. Clears your mouth from this flavor of sushi and you can flavor other stuff." I was like, "Well, you seem to know a lot about the Japanese culture, which I think is great." The conversation went like that. I asked her about the game she played. She told me she played Overwatch. And I was like, "Are you good on the game?" Usually, on every game that I play, I tell people that I'm average or something like that because I don't consider myself good on any games that I play. I just play it. And I'm a little bit dedicated to the things that I want to get, but I wouldn't tell myself that I'm pro. Just like my friend said in real life, uh, there's always somebody better than you, right? Anyways, she tells me, "Yes, I play Overwatch and I'm a very pro girl. Everybody wants me to tank for her, for everybody." And I was like, "Okay, do you stream or something?" She was like, "No, I'm very shy." I'm like, "Yeah, but you're a girl and very pretty. So if you stream any game, I'm sure you could possibly go from manager to full-time streamer." Again, she wasn't the prettiest girl, but to me, because all the things she liked, she was very pretty to me. And she was like, "No, let me show you gameplay." She took out her phone, and I noticed her phone is very dirty. You notice when somebody has like their hands dirty and the phone, it has like grease, and it's like, let's say you have an iPhone that it's white or gray, and you notice that it's turning a different color because of the filth. That's how her phone was. Her screen was all scratched, like if she had a cat scratching her screen. I noticed a lot about details about her phone and other stuff that make her look like if she didn't care about her looks or her well-being. Anyways, she shows me a video that I don't understand because I never played that game and tells me, "See, I told you I'm good at the game. I didn't understand anything." I asked her to send me a video and I sent it to a friend that actually plays that game, and he just said she's trash. I don't know what she's saying she's good. I really trust my friend because I know him for 15 years, and the thing I like about my best friend is that he's so honest that can hurt other people. So I was like, "Yeah, this guy's not gonna lie to me." Anyways, uh, Caitlin gets very strange and she tells me, "Hey, my mom is not home." And I was like, "Okay, great. Why?" And she was like, "Well, do you want to go to my house?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I mean, we can play video games, right?" And she was like, "Well, you can play with me." And I was like, she didn't say like, "Let's play video games," but in a more sexual way. And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Why not?" Probably because I didn't seem very excited and I just said, "Sure." He said, "No, no, forget what I said. That's not good. That's not good. We just met and I'm just, no, 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 forget it, forget it, forget it." She ran and uh, to the bus station. I was with her and I just gave her a hug and a kiss and I let her go. She got very strange after that to the point that I wanted to ask her out and she was always busy. I was like, "Did I offend you at some point?" And she always tell me no, but still stop calling me cute because I'm not, I'm ugly. I told her, "Isn't beauty in the eye of the beholder?" And she would just say, "You don't have to call me beautiful just to get something out of me." And I said, "I'm not trying to get something out of you. I really like you." Basically, she tried to avoid me all the time. I'm a persistent person, not a stalker, but persistent. I asked her, "Hey, Caitlin, quick question. Can I see you? I just want to see you. I haven't seen you in months." She said, "Well, come over at work." Um, I was like, "Well, you're working?" "Yeah, but I'm on lunch break." So I tell my mom, "I'm going to see this girl." And she was like, "Well, it's the middle of the day. Isn't she working?" I tell her she's on lunch break. My mom gives me a look like, "Are you really just going to go to see a girl for maybe 40 minutes and come back?" And I said, "Yeah." But she didn't say anything, right? I go there, meet her. I realized that um, her hair is all scraggly So I told her, "Do you have a hairbrush?" And I started brushing her hair and telling her, "You have beautiful hair, Caitlin. You shouldn't just leave it like that because it is very cute." Anyways, I noticed she was sitting like on a parking lot. I was like, "Do you want to eat something?" We go to another Japanese restaurant. Yeah, we have many here, a different one in a different place. And I noticed her leg because she was wearing a short skirt and she had like a big, uh, I wouldn't say it's like a scar, but she had like a wound on her leg, very big. And I was like, it looks infected. Do you want to go to a pharmacy so they take a look? No. I also noticed she was very red and sweating. And I was like, uh, I know it's the hot season in our country, but it's not that hot. I was like, do you suffer from high blood pressure? Have you ever checked yourself? I think she got offended by my question and she just blew me off and told me, none of your business. I was like, no, I'm just looking after you because it is hot, but I started telling her all these signs of high blood pressure. And she was like, yeah, but I was born with a lot of issues, so you don't have to worry about me. I was like, okay, all right. It's just that my father used to suffer from that, so that's why I know. Anyways, fast forward a couple of months, and I don't hear anything from her, so I just believe that she forgotten about me and she had issues and I didn't want to interfere with that. A friend of mine that work on that company tells me, "Hey, I met your girlfriend." And I was like, "Excuse me?" And I said, "Yeah, Caitlin, your girlfriend, the anime chick, the one with the long black hair." I was like, "Dude, she's not my girlfriend." And he was like, "She's telling everybody that you have been dating with her for months and that you're such a nice boyfriend." I told her, "Dude, Steven, she's not my girlfriend. I tried to go out with her 3 times and she blew me off." He said, "She's talking wonders about you and how you're the perfect girlfriend." I didn't confront her about this because, how would I know inside information? And I didn't want to give my friend off. I was like, just, if something interesting comes up, let me know. Nothing interesting came up from that, as, you know, otherwise I'll be telling you guys. But the weirdest thing is that when I messaged her, she was very rude, but somehow she told everybody that we were boyfriend and girlfriend. So is she mentally okay? Are we dating in her mind? Or maybe she just wanted to tell people that she was happy when she was not. Or maybe she fabricated the entire history just so we could be together in her mind. Or maybe for some strange reason, she believes even after all these years that we're still boyfriend and girlfriend. Well, those were my 3 stories. Love and the last one was a little bit strange. But I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'll leave my email as always on the description. And if you have any stories, let me know. Goodbye.